dispense of the maze with the Honorable Presiding Officer.
Wala na kaya ito. Harap na kaya ito. Lagay ko na ukan dito. Tayo kita sa nimo.
The 30th regular session of the 10th Sangguniang Panlungsod is now called to order. We are requesting the Secretary to the Sangguniang for the roll call.
The attendance for this afternoon's regular session. The regular presiding officer, Honorable Eva Lorraine Estabilio, is present. Honorable Leo Di Revita is present. Honorable Meliton Di Lemos is present. Honorable Shara Isabel Uy Salazar is present. Honorable Vreni Jem O. Kaasi is present. Honorable Agripino G. Coquilla Jr. is present. Honorable Rex Jasper R. Aala is present. Honorable Romeo L. Catayas is present. Honorable Catherine S. Elliott is present. Honorable Edmark O. Wakan is on leave. Honorable Arthur V. Ong Jr. is present. Honorable Datu Eric I. Perez is present. Honorable Roan Angela G. Rillion is still out. Honorable Beethoven S. Rubinos is present. Madam Presiding Officer, there are 12 members present. There is a quorum, Madam.
There being a quorum, this session is in order. Let us now proceed to the opening prayer to be led by Honorable Agripino Coquilla Jr., followed by the singing of the pambansang awit, panunumpa ng katapatan sa watawat ng Pilipinas, and the recitation of the Councilor's Creed and singing of the Tagum Mabuhay Ka March.
May I request everyone to be with us on this prayer. We'll pray according to our faith in the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Let us put, Lord God Almighty, we honor your holy name for giving us another day of great importance for the welfare and development of the city. We praise you for all the graces we receive, especially providing us your loving guidance and illumination so that we could put into action the right and true service that you expected from us. Let your blessings be our might in the decisions we will make during this 30th regular session. May your wisdom be our direction, for we know that only through your guidance we will be able to make our efforts productive, valuable, and just. May the members of this 10th City Council be guided to be fair, transparent, and sensitive to the needs and welfare of our fellow Tagumeños. All this, O Lord, we ask and pray in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Kayang magiliw, telas ng sinakanan, alam ng puso, sa dikit mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, kuya ka ng magiting, sa manlulupin, di ka pasisigil, sa nagatak tutok sa simoy at sa langit ng pagaw, ay hinatang tulad, awit sa pagkayang minamahal. Ang isang ng matawad mo'y tagumpay na naghihindig, ang bituin at araw niya kailan ang may di magtitingin. Luman ang araw ng warhagit pagsinta, mo'y langit sa piling ko. Ang hindi kaya ng pagkay mga aking, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Ang panunumpa ng katapatan sa watawat ng Pilipinas.
Ako ay Pilipino, buong katapatang nanunumpa sa watawat ng Pilipinas at sa bansang kaniyang sinasagisag na may dangal, katarungan at kalayaan na pinakikilos ng sambayanang makadiyos, makatao, makakalikasan at makabansa. The Councilor's Creed. I am a Philippine Councilor, mandated by law to enact measures and ordinances that redound to general welfare of my constituents, their pursuit for happiness, peace, and prosperity. I believe in public service above self. as the guiding principle of my official act, and I shall tread the pathways of local legislation. May all the Almighty guide my mind and heart, that I shall be true to my constituents and the Filipino people.
Sa lupain ng pangako ay may isang paraiso. Ang matatag at matatayog niyang bundok ay sagana sa saging at ginto. Mga bukid niya at mga parang at mga luntiang balayan. Saan dakuman kung iyong pagmamasdan, ito'y larawan ng kasaganahan. Tagum mabuhay ka, tagum mabuhay ka, nasa'yo ang bukas na walang kasing ganda. Tagum mabuhay ka, tagum mabuhay ka, paraisong puno ng pag-asa. Ang lahat niyang nasasakupan, nagmamahal sa kapayapaan, nagkakaisa lahat at nagtutulungan patungo sa miking kaunlaran. Di magtatagal maaabot din lahat ng pinapangarap natin. Kapit kamay lahat ay ating harapin, ang tuktok ay kaya nating abutin. Tagum mabuhay ka, tagum mabuhay ka, nasa'yo ang bukas na walang kasing ganda. Tagum mabuhay ka, tagum mabuhay ka, paraisong puno ng pag-asa. Tagum mabuhay ka, tagum mabuhay ka, sa'yo ang bukas na walang kasing ganda. Tagum mabuhay ka, tagum mabuhay ka, paraisong puno ng pag-asa. Paraisong puno ng pag-asa.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Councilor Catayas, for presiding during the last regular session.
Welcome.
Next time na po. Let us now proceed to the reading and consideration of the minutes and journal of proceedings of the 29th regular session on February 9. Councilor Revita is recognized.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. Since copy has been distributed in advance to this August body, I move to dispense with the reading of the minutes of the 29th regular session conducted last February 9, consisting of 65 pages.
Moved by Councilor Revita, seconded by Councilors Catayas, Uy, Salazar, Eliot, Rubinos, and Aala. There being no objection, the reading of its full text is dispensed with.
I move for its adoption, Madam Chair.
Moved by Councilor Revita, seconded by Councilors Aala and Rubinos. Is there any discussion, amendment, objection? There being none, therefore the minutes of the 29th regular session held on February 9, consisting of 65 pages, is hereby adopted. Proceed.
Madam Chair, in the same manner, since copy has been distributed in advance to this August body, I move to dispense with the reading of the Journal of Proceedings of the 29th regular session conducted last February 9, 2026, consisting of 24 pages.
Moved by Councilor Revita, seconded by Councilors Aala and Catayas. And there being no objection, the reading thereof is hereby dispensed with.
I move for its adoption, Madam Chair.
Seconded by Councilor Aala and Catayas. Is there any discussion, amendment, objection? There being none, therefore, the Journal of Proceedings of the 29th regular session of the 10th Sangguniang Panlungsod held on February 9, 2026, consisting of 24 pages, is hereby adopted. Let us now proceed to the privilege hour. Any member who would like to avail of the privilege? There being none, let's proceed to the question R. And since we have no invited guests, let us now proceed to the reading and referral of proposed measures.
Madam President, for our measures on first reading, we have items under letters and communications. Number 1 is this letter dated February 6, 2026 from Honorable Randy A. Laguna, the Punong Barangay of Magupo South. This pertains to Barangay Ordinance number 28, series of 2025, an ordinance establishing the Barangay Community Garden or BCG in support of the Halinat Magtanim ng Prutas at Gulay or HAPAG program of the Department of Interior and Local Government in Barangay Magupo South, Tagum City for the purpose of promoting food security, environmental sustainability, and community participation and appropriating funds thereof.
Item number 1 is referred to the Committee on Barangay Affairs and Laws, Rules, Regulations, and Privileges.
For item number 2, letter dated February 6, 2026 from the Honorable City Mayor Ray T. Uy. This pertains to the letter from Mr. Dennis Dean T. Castillo, MPA, Sangguniang Panlalawigan Secretary of Davao del Norte, pertaining to Sangguniang Panlalawigan Resolution number 1181.
Item number 2 is referred to the Committee on Laws, Rules, Regulations, and Privileges, and the Committee on Public Works. To the Committee on Laws, being the lead committee, please take note that the chairperson is on leave. The person is requested to please preside these committees.
Item number 3, Madam Chair, letter dated February 6, coming from the Honorable City Mayor Ray T. Uy. This pertains to a draft memorandum of agreement between the City Government of Tagum and Kabugan Fisherfolk Association or CAFA for proposed project Shallow or Safe Haven for Life Below Water, ecosystem-based adaptation through mangrove habitat and restoration.
Item number 3 is referred to the Committee on Environmental Protection and Ecology and the Committee on Laws, Rules, Regulations, and Privileges.
Number 4, letter dated February 6, coming from the Honorable City Mayor. This pertains to the draft broadcasting contract between the City Government of Tagum and the FM radio broadcasting station.
Item number 4 is referred to the Committee on Public Information and Media Affairs and Committee on Laws, Rules, Regulations, and Privileges.
Number 5, letter dated January 27, 2026 from Honorable Roberto E. Isaal, the Punong Barangay of Kwambugan, pertaining to supplemental budget number 4 for 2025 of Barangay Kwambugan, appropriating the sum of 156,000 pesos only.
Item number 5 is referred to the Committee on Barangay Affairs and Finance Budget and Appropriations.
Number 6, letter dated January 22, 2026 from Honorable Rolly L. Mones, the Punong Barangay of San Agustin. This pertains to supplemental budget number 3 for calendar year 2025 of Barangay San Agustin, appropriating the sum of 230,000 pesos only.
Item number 6 is referred to the Committee on Barangay Affairs and Finance Budget and Appropriations.
Number 7, letter dated February 10, 2026 from Honorable Ray T. Uy, City Mayor, pertaining to the draft memorandum of agreement between the City Government of Tagum and the following academic institutions relative to student internship program for appropriate action. Number 1, St. Mary's College of Tagum Incorporated, and number 2, St. Mary's College, Baganga Incorporated.
Item number 7 is referred to the Committee on Education and Laws, Rules, Regulations, and Privileges.
And the last item, letter dated February 12, 2026, still from the Honorable City Mayor Ray T. Uy, pertaining to a draft resolution authorizing the local chief executive to negotiate a loan to duly authorized government banks to finance pre-identified projects, namely acquisition of lots with improvement, completion of school buildings, establishment of children's park, acquisition and installation of solar lights, renovation of Tagum City Public Market, and acquisition of heavy equipment, service vehicles, and LED wall with an amount of 507,167,676 pesos, subject to the conduct of generally accepted studies to determine the level of importance and necessity.
Item number 8 is referred to the Committee on Finance Budget and Appropriations and Committee on Laws, Rules, Regulations, and Privileges. Let's now proceed to the next order of business, the committee reports. First to report, the Committee on Barangay Affairs.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. This is Joint Committee Report Number 1, Series of 2026, submitted by the Committee on Barangay Affairs and Committee on Laws, Rules, Regulations, and Privileges, dated February 11, 2026 at SB Session Hall with the subject matter. Barangay Ordinance Number 1, Series of 2025 of Barangay Kanukutan, an ordinance establishing the funeral reception or wake assistance, also known as the Pakikiramay Program, intended for the deceased registered voters and his/her immediate family with actual residence in Barangay Kanukutan, Tagum City, and formulating policies, guidelines, and appropriating funds thereof. And considering that all members present as a copy of this committee report, I move to dispense the reading of the full text of the said committee report, Madam Presiding Officer.
Moved by Councilor Rubino, seconded by Councilors Aala, Catayas, and Revita. And there being no objection, the reading of its full text is dispensed with.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. I move for its adoption.
Is there any discussion, amendment, objection? There being none, therefore, Joint Committee Report Number 1, submitted by the Committee on Barangay Affairs and Laws, Rules, Regulations, and Privileges, is hereby adopted. Next, proceed, Councilor Rubinos.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. This is Joint Committee Report Number 2, Series of 2026, submitted by the Committee on Barangay Affairs, together with the Committee on Finance, Budget, and Appropriations, and Committee on Laws, Rules, Regulations, and Privileges, dated February 11, 2026 at SB Session Hall with the subject matter. Barangay Tax Ordinance Number 25-001 of Barangay Busaon, an ordinance creating the 2025 Barangay Revenue Code of Barangay Busaon, providing its policies and guidelines. Considering that all members present has a copy of this committee report, I move to dispense the reading of the full text of the said committee report, Madam Presiding Officer.
Moved by Councilor Rubino, seconded by Councilors Aala, Revita, Catayas, and Uy Salazar. There being no objection, the reading of its full text is hereby dispensed with.
I move for its adoption, Madam Presiding Officer.
Is there any discussion, amendment, objection? There being none, therefore, Joint Committee Report Number 2, Series of 2026, submitted by the Committee on Barangay Affairs, Laws, Rules, Regulations, and Privileges, and Finance, Budget, and Appropriations is hereby adopted. Next committee report from the Committee on Health. Councilor Isa Lazar is recognized.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. This is to render Joint Committee Report Number 2, Series of 2026, submitted by the Committees on Health and on Laws. The subject matter of this report is the 28th Regular Session Draft City Ordinance Number 105, Series of 2026, an ordinance amending Sections 3, 5, 6, 7, and 8 of City Ordinance Number 1055, Series of 2025, entitled An Ordinance Revising the Barangay Health Worker Welfare Code of the City of Tagum. I move to dispense with the reading of the full text of this joint committee report.
Moved by Councilor Uy Salazar, seconded by Councilors Rubinos, Elliot, and Aala. And there being no objection, the reading of its full text is dispensed with.
I move for its adoption.
Is there any discussion?
Yes, a short point of information, Madam Presiding Officer. While the referral specifically mentions amendments to Sections 3, 5, 6, 7, and 8 of City Ordinance Number 1055, Series of 2025, the proposed amendatory ordinance likewise includes an amendment to Section 11 as recommended by the members during the committee meeting. The proposed amendment to Section 11 will be further discussed later during the approval of the amendatory ordinance. That is all, Madam Presiding Officer. Thank you.
Thank you for that information. Is there any amendment or objection? There being none, therefore, Joint Committee Report Number 2, submitted by the Committee on Health and Laws, Rules, Regulations, and Privileges is hereby adopted. Next committee report from the Committee on Housing, Councilor Kaasi.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is to render Joint Committee Report Number 5, Series of 2026, on the Committee on Housing and Land Utilizations and Committee on Laws, Rules, and Privileges last February 11, 2026 at 9:30 a.m. here at SB Session Hall with 3 subject matters. First is the draft deed of usufruct between the City Government of Tagum and the Supreme Court of the Philippines covering a parcel of land located at Barangay Apocon, Tagum City, owned by the City Government of Tagum with a total area of 2,500 square meters. Next is the resolution authorizing City Mayor Honorable Ray T. Uy to effect the termination of specific deed of usufruct entered into between the City Government of Tagum and certain national government agencies over parcel of land situated at the Energy Park and Institutional Services Center, Barangay Apocon, Tagum City. Author, Councilor Attorney Edmar Cuacan. Last subject matter is the draft deed of donation for the parcel of land owned by the following donors intended for the road right-of-way and open spaces located at Barangay Visayan Village, Tagum City, in favor of the City Government of Tagum for appropriate action. To it, first is Romano Argilio, and number 2 is Andre Carlo Ching. This is to dispense with the Joint Committee Report number 5, Series of 2026.
Moved by Councilor Caasi, seconded by Councilors Rubinos and Catayas, and also Revita. And there being no objection, the reading of its full text is hereby dispensed with.
I move for its adoption, Madam Chair.
Is there any discussion, amendment, objection? There being none, therefore, Joint Committee Report number 5, submitted by the Committee on Housing and Land Utilization and Laws, Rules, Regulations, and Privileges is hereby adopted. Next committee report from the Committee on Education. Councilor Aala.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. Committee Report number 1, Series of 2026, submitted by Committee on Education with 1 subject matter, a letter dated February 4, 2026, from Honorable Ray T. Uy, City Mayor, addressed to the Honorable Members of the Sangguniang through Honorable Eva Lorraine E. Estabilio, City Vice Mayor, duly received by the Office of the Secretary to the Sangguniang on February 5, 2026. The herein local school board resolution for appropriate action to with A. Local School Board Resolution number 1, Series of 2026, a resolution supporting the merging of Magugpo Pilot Emelda Elementary School, thus SPED Center, and Rizal Elementary School, Magugpo Pilot Emelda School, Rizal Elementary School of the Department of Education, Schools Division Office of Tagum City. And B, Local School Board Resolution number 2, Series of 2026, a resolution endorsing the Local School Board Resolution number 1, Series of 2026, a resolution supporting the merging of Magugpo Pilot Emelda Elementary School, thus SPED Center, and Rizal School of the Department of Education, Schools Division Office of Tagum City. Since copies were given of the said committee report, Honorable Chair, I move for the dispense of the said committee report.
As moved by Councilor Aala, is there any second? Councilor Revita, and there be no objection, the reading of its full text is hereby dispensed with.
I move for its adoption, Madam Presiding Officer.
Is there any discussion, amendment, objection? There being none, therefore committee report number 1, submitted by the Committee on Education, is hereby adopted. Next committee report.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. Joint Committee Report number 3, Series of 2026, submitted by the Joint Committees on Education and Laws, Rules, Regulation, and Privileges with 1 subject matter, letter dated November 12, 2026, from the Honorable Ray T. Uy, City Mayor, addressed to the Honorable Members of the Sangguniang through Honorable Eva Lorraine E. Estabilio, City Vice Mayor, duly received by the Office of the Secretary to the Sangguniang on November 14, 2025, the herein request for the passage of a resolution authorizing the City Mayor to sign the Memorandum of Agreement between and among the City Government of Tagum grantee and parents/guardian as provided under Section 4 of City Ordinance Number 1014, Series of 2022, otherwise known as the Expanded City Education Scholarship Program or ISESPRO, as amended by the City Ordinance Number 1050, Series of 2024. Since copies were given of the said Joint Committee Report, I move to the dispense of the reading of the Joint Committee Report, Madam Presiding Officer.
Moved by Councilor Aala, second by Councilor Catayas and Rubinos. And there being no objection, the reading of its full text is dispensed with.
I move for its adoption, Madam Presiding Officer.
Is there any discussion, amendment, objection? There being none, therefore, Joint Committee Report Number 3, submitted by the Committee on Education and Laws, Rules, Regulations, and Privileges, is hereby adopted. Some more committee reports. Councilor Coquilla is recognized.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. For and on behalf of the members of the Committee on Budget and Appropriation and the Committee on Barangay Affairs, allow me to present this Joint Committee Report Number 3, Series 2026, conducted last February 13, 2026 at 10:20 in the morning. This is in relation to the endorse appropriation ordinance of annual budget for calendar year 2026 of Barangay Mangkilam amounting to 58,367,000 pesos. In as much as all members of this 10th Sangguniang Panlungsod has a copy of this Joint Committee Report Number 3, Series 2026, I therefore move to dispense the reading of its full text.
Moved by Councilor Coquilla, seconded by Councilors Catayas, Revita, Eliot, Aala, and Ong. And there being no objection, the reading of its full text is dispensed with.
I move, Madam Chair, for its adoption with amendment on the recommendation. I so move, Mr. Chair. Madam Chair.
Okay, so there's, is there any discussion? Any amendment, Councilor
Amendment,
Coquilla?
Madam Chair, to substitute the word Visayan Village to Barangay Mangkilam. I so move, Madam Chair.
So there's an amendment to substitute the name of the barangay Visayan Village to Mangkilam, second by Councilor Aala. Is there any discussion? Amendment to the amendment, objection to the amendment? There being none, therefore that amendment is hereby approved. Is there any objection? There being none, therefore Joint Committee Report Number 3, Series of 2026, submitted by the Committee on Finance, Budget and Appropriation and Barangay Affairs, is hereby adopted with one amendment. Let us now proceed to the calendar of business. Councilor Lemos, what is your pleasure?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move for the approval of the calendar of business as indicated in the notice of session, Madam Chair. I so move.
Moved by Councilor Lemos, seconded by Councilors Aala, Coquilla, Revita, Catayas. And is there any discussion, any amendment to the calendar of business? Any amendments? Councilor Rubinos?
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. Amendments for inclusion under unassigned business. May I know the resolution number, Mr. Secretary?
The President, that would be resolution number 496.
Thank you. Resolution number 496, a resolution confirming Barangay Ordinance number 1 series of 2025 of the Sangguniang Barangay of Kanukutan, Tagum City, Davao del Norte. I move for its inclusion, Madam Presiding Officer.
Moved by Councilor Rubino, seconded by Councilor Catayas and Rillion. There being no objection, therefore, resolution number 496 is included under unassigned business. Proceed.
Another resolution, amendments for inclusion, Madam Presiding Officer, resolution number 497, a resolution returning Barangay Ordinance number 25-001 of the Sangguniang Barangay, Busaon, Tagum City, Davao del Norte. I so move for its inclusion, Madam Presiding Officer.
Moved by Councilor Rubino, seconded by Councilor Catayas and Revita. There being no objection, therefore, Resolution number 497 is included under unassigned business. Summary inclusions, Councilor Uisa.
Revising the Barangay Health Worker Welfare Code of the City of Tagum.
Moved by Councilor Uisa Lazar, seconded by Councilors Catayas, Revita, Aala, and Rubinos, and Rillion. Is there any discussion, amendment, objection? There being none, therefore, draft City Ordinance number 105 is included under unassigned business. Summary inclusions, Councilor Aala.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. Amendment for inclusion under unassigned business. Resolution number 462. Am I right?
It's 498. sir.
498. Sorry. Nawala ko daan. Sorry. May nasulat ko rin daan. Okay. 498. Series of 2026. A resolution to strongly support the merging of Magugpo Pilot Emelda Elementary School, Das SPED Center, and Rizal Elementary School of the Department of Education, Schools Division Office of Tagum City. I move for its inclusion, Madam Presiding Officer.
Moved by Councilor Aala, seconded by Councilors Rubinos, Catayas, Eliot, and Revita. And there being no objection, resolution number 498 is included under unassigned business.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. Amendment for inclusion under unassigned business. Resolution number 499, a resolution authorizing the city mayor to enter into and sign for in behalf of the city government of Tagum, the memorandum of agreement between and among the city government of Tagum, guarantee and parents/guardian as provided under the Section 4 of City Ordinance Number 1014, Series of 2022, otherwise known as the Expanded City Education Scholarship Program, ESESPRO, as amended by City Ordinance Number 1050, Series of 2024. I move for its inclusion, Madam Presiding Officer.
Moved by Councilor Aala, seconded by Councilors Catayas, Eliot, and Rubinos. And there being no objection, the resolution number 499 is included under unassigned business. Summary inclusions, there being none, back to the main motion as amended 5 times. Is there any objection? There being none, therefore, the calendar of business as amended 5 times is hereby adopted. Let us now proceed to measures on second reading.
Madam President, under second reading, we have resolution number 492, a resolution confirming supplemental budget number 1 for calendar year 2025 of the Sangguniang Kabataan of Barangay Pandapan, amounting to 283,509 pesos and 4 centavos.
Councilor Rillion is recognized.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. Before I proceed with the discussion and for the approval of the measure, I move for a minute recess po.
The chair declares for a minute recess.
Officer, I move to dispense the reading of Draft Resolution 492 Series of 2026.
Moved by Councilor Rillion, seconded by Councilors Rubinos, Aala, Revita, and Catayas. And there being no objection, the reading of its full text is dispensed with.
I move for its approval on second reading.
Moved by Councilor Rillion, seconded by Councilor Catayas and Revita. Is there any discussion?
Discussion, Madam Presiding Officer. During the committee hearing held last January 28, 2026, one of the recommendations of the committee that is that there shall be a conditional requirement before the approval of the said supplemental budget of the SK of Barangay Bingkungan. So last week of February, the office of the Panlungsod na Federasyon ng mga Sangguniang Kabataan ng Tagum has received a copy of the said documents. First is the approved minutes of the SK regular session, approved activity design, fund utilization report, and narrative report stating the findings, observations, and the recommendations in the conduct of the activity from the Sangguniang Kabataan of Barangay Bingkungan. That would be all, Madam Presiding Officer.
Okay, so thank you for that information. Proceed.
Madam Presiding Officer, amendment, especially on the title, since there is an error committed. So I move to amend that the title shall be read as follows. A resolution confirming supplemental budget number 1 for calendar year 2025 of the Sangguniang Kabataan of Barangay Bingkungan amounting to 283,590 pesos and 4 centavos.
Okay.
Madam
As
President.
moved by our Councilor Angela Rillion to amend the title by by substituting the word Pandapan to Bingkungan. Duly seconded by Councilor Dato Eric Perez, Councilor Catayas, and Councilor Eliot. And is there any discussion, amendment, objection? There being none, therefore, the title shall be accordingly amended to reflect Barangay Bingkungan instead of Barangay Pandapan.
Further, Madam Presiding Officer, I move that all members physically present be co-proponent of the said measure.
Moved by Councilor Rillion, seconded by Councilors Catayas, Dato Eric Perez, and Councilor Revita. Is there any discussion, amendment, objection? There being none, therefore all members physically present shall be co-proponents of this resolution.
Finally, Madam Presiding Officer, upon the recommendation of the joint committees, since the SK Bingkungan has already submitted the documents for approval, then this shall be approved for second and final reading only.
Moved by Councilor Rillion that this be approved on second and final reading, seconded by Councilor Catayas. Those who are in favor, please raise your right hand.
In favor, Councilor Perez, Councilor Catayas, Councilor Ayala, Councilor Rubinos, Councilor Eliot, Councilor Revita, Councilor Luis Salazar, Councilor Kaasi, Councilor Coquilla, Councilor Ong, Councilor Lemos, and Councilor Rillion. Madam President, all members present are in favor.
All members present being in favor, therefore, resolution number 492 is approved on second and final reading. Let us now proceed to unassigned business.
First item under unassigned business is draft resolution number 496, a resolution confirming Barangay Ordinance number 1, series of 2025 of the Sangguniang Barangay of Canocotan, Tagum City, Davao del Norte.
Councilor Rubinos is recognized.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. Since all members were already given a copy of resolution number 496, I move to dispense with its reading, Madam Presiding Officer.
Moved by Councilor Rubino, seconded by Councilor Catayas, and there being no objection, the reading of its full text is dispensed with.
I move for its approval on second reading, Madam Presiding Officer.
Moved by Councilor Rubinos, seconded by Councilor Catayas and Rillion. Is there any discussion?
Discussion, Madam Presiding Officer. Barangay Ordinance number 1, series of 2025 of the Sangguniang Barangay of Canocotan was created to give funeral reception assistance to all citizens of Barangay Canocotan. This barangay ordinance was first deliberated last September 10, 2025 and was returned for further refinement. As the members of the Joint Committee conducted another committee hearing with the guest coming from the concerned barangay last February 11, 2026, the members of the Joint Committee observed that the barangay ordinance was properly drafted by the Council of Barangay Conocotan. Hence, the members of the Joint Committee find the said barangay ordinance to be in order and proper to confirm. That's all, Madam Presiding Officer.
Okay, thank you for that information. Proceed to the amendments.
Amendments, Madam Presiding Officer, that all members present be co-proponents.
Moved by Councilor Rubino, second by Councilor Aala and Revita. There being no objection, therefore all members physically present shall be co-proponents of this resolution.
Madam Presiding Officer, I move that this be approved for second and final reading.
Moved by Councilor Rubino, seconded by Councilor Aala. Those who are in favor, please raise your right hand.
In favor, Councilor Perez, Councilor Catayas, Councilor Aala, Councilor Rubinos, Councilor Elliot, Councilor Revita, Councilor Uy Salazar, Councilor Kaasi, Councilor Coquilla, Councilor Ong, Councilor Lemos, and Councilor Rillion. Madam President, all members present are in favor.
All members present being in favor, therefore resolution number 495 is approved on second and final reading.
Next item, Madam Chair.
496.
Next item is resolution number 497, a resolution returning Barangay Ordinance number 25-001 of the Sangguniang Barangay of Busaon, Tagum City, Davao del Norte.
Councilor Rubinos.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. Since all members were already given a copy of resolution number 497, I move to dispense with its reading, Madam Presiding Officer.
Moved by Councilor Rubinos, seconded by Dato Eric Perez, Councilor Uy Salazar, and Councilor Aala. And there being no objection, the reading of its full text is dispensed with.
I move for its approval on second reading, Madam Presiding Officer.
Moved by Councilor Rubinos, seconded by Councilor Aala and Revita. Is there any discussion?
Yes, Madam Presiding Officer. For the information of this August body, the intention of this barangay ordinance is to amend the burial fee under its 2008 tax ordinance, increasing the amount from 100 pesos to 300 pesos. The Sangguniang Barangay of Busaon also amended the name of the office concerned in Section 56 of the said ordinance, changing it from the City Social Services and Development Office, or CSSDO, to the City Social Welfare and Development Office, CSWDO. Furthermore, the members observed that the barangay ordinance does not follow the correct form and style for amending an existing ordinance. And after deliberation, Madam Presiding Officer, the members of the Joint Committee recommended to return barangay ordinance number 25-001 to the Sangguniang Barangay of Busaon for refinement. That's all, Madam Presiding Officer.
Thank you for that information. Please proceed.
Amendments, Madam Presiding Officer, that all members present be co-proponents.
Moved by Councilor Rubino, seconded by Councilors Catayas and Aala. And there being no objection, therefore all members shall be co-proponents of this resolution.
I move that this be approved for second and final reading, Madam Presiding Officer.
Moved by Councilor Rubino, seconded by Councilor Catayas and Brillion. Those who are in favor, please raise your right hand.
In favor, we have Councilor Perez, Councilor Catayas, Councilor Aala, Councilor Rubinos, Councilor Elliot, Councilor Revita, Councilor Uy Salazar, Councilor Kaasi, Councilor Coquilla, Councilor Ong, Councilor Lemos, and Councilor Rillion. Madam President, all members present are in favor.
All members present being in favor, therefore resolution number 497 is approved on second and final reading. Next item.
Next item is the draft city ordinance number 105, an ordinance amending sections 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 11 of city ordinance number 1055, series of 2025, entitled an ordinance revising the Barangay Health Worker Welfare Code of the City of Tagum.
Councilor Uy Salazar is recognized.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. Allow me to present Draft City Ordinance Number 105, Series of 2026. And since all members of this council were already furnished with copies of this Draft City Ordinance, I move to dispense with the reading of the full text of the same.
Moved by Councilor Uy Salazar, seconded by Councilor Catayas and Revita, and also Kaasi. Is there any discussion, amendment, objection? There being none, therefore, the reading of the full text of Draft City Ordinance Number 105 is hereby dispensed with.
Madam Presiding Officer, I move for its approval on second reading.
Moved by Councilor Uy Salazar, seconded by Dato Eric Perez and Councilor Catayas. Is there any discussion?
This mandatory ordinance strengthens our local framework for community-based healthcare and ensures alignment with Republic Act number 7883. As our public health responsibilities expand, we likewise elevate our standards for competence, accountability, and equitable deployment of our barangay health workers. Specifically, Section 3 is amended to clarify the distinction between registration and accreditation and to formally institutionalize the Barangay Health Worker Registration and Accreditation Committee as the body responsible for evaluation, renewal, and monitoring. Section 5 upgrades the qualifications for registration and accreditation by requiring prescribed DOH training, minimum voluntary service, senior high school education or its equivalent, computer literacy, and satisfactory performance for annual reaccreditation. Section 6 introduces a population-based ratio for the deployment of accredited BHWs per barangay to ensure equitable distribution. Section 7 now mandates continuing training at least once every 3 years, including a refresher course for long-serving BHWs. Section 8 refines and categorizes the duties and responsibilities of BHWs as community health organizer, health educator, and health case service provider in alignment with national standards. Finally, Section 11 rationalizes the honorarium structure by clearly providing 8,000 pesos monthly from accreditation up to 35 consecutive months of service and 10,000 pesos beginning on the 36th month, thereby removing ambiguity in computation. Another retroactive clause is likewise included to protect vested rights. With these amendments, we professionalize our system while preserving voluntarism and strengthening grassroots healthcare delivery. In view of the foregoing, I seek the favorable approval of this draft city ordinance.
Thank you very much, Councilor Uy Salazar. Please proceed now to the amendments.
If there are no other floor amendments to be introduced by the members of the Sangguniang, I move that all members present be co-proponents of this draft city ordinance.
Moved by Councilor Uy Salazar, seconded by Councilors Catayas, Kaasi, Rillion, Rubinos, and Aala.
I move that this piece of legislation be approved on second reading only.
And Aala. Okay, so this ordinance is approved on second reading only. Next item.
Next item, Madam Chair, is resolution number 498, a resolution to strongly support the merging of Magupo Pilot Imelda Elementary School.
Moved by Councilor Aala, seconded by Councilors Catayas, Uy Salazar, and Rillion. And there being no objection, the reading of its full text is dispensed with.
I move to approve in second reading, Madam Presiding Officer.
Moved by Councilor Aala for its approval on second reading, seconded by Councilor Catayas and Iliot. Is there any discussion?
Point of information, Madam Presiding Officer, that during the local school board meeting, there was a feasible study presented by the planning officer of the DepEd Tagum City Division during the local school board meeting held at the CMO BIDS Bids and Awards Committee, Conference Room, 3rd floor, City Hall Government Center, JB Ayala Avenue, Apocon, Tagum City on January 21, 2026. The purpose of the merging of Magugpo Pilot Imelda Elementary School, thus SPED Center and Rizal Elementary School, has the following major benefits for all stakeholders involved. Number one, the purpose merger will result for more efficient use of classrooms for both schools, as this will achieve a classroom to learner ratio of 1:38 from the existing 1:46 for Magugpo Pilot Imelda Elementary School, thus SPED Center, and 1:26 for Rizal Elementary School. The resulting ratio of 1:38 is well within the DepEd standards of 1:45 maximum classrooms to learner ratio. Number two, the purpose merger is also provide a combined land area that will lower the population density and that will lead to more buildable spaces for additional facilities. Number 3, finally, the merger will allow the learners from Rizal Elementary School to avail for the circular features exclusively available to Magugpo Pilot Imelda Elementary School, thus SPED Center, which can contribute to improve National Achievement Test performance for the learners of Rizal Elementary School. That's all, Madam Presiding Officer.
Thank you for that information, Councilor Aala. So if there are no more discussion from the other members, proceed. Yes, Councilor Conquilla.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. I have with me the copy of DepEd order, Madam Presiding Officer, covering the criteria for the merging. And one among the criteria are as follows. Under page 18, may we know if members of the council is familiar and is with me in this discussion. Under page 18, there are required documents for the merging. So one is DepEd school IDs of the schools to be merged. So that's required for criteria number 1. The schools be merged are listed in the EBEIS. So may we know if it was being taken care of for criteria number 1. For criteria number 2, both schools must be adjacent to each other. So this is complied. And the required documents are as follows. Map, preferably drawn to scale, showing the distances of the existing schools which within the catchment area of the proposed new school. And for number 3, each of the schools must have less than 100 enrollees and inadequate equipment and resources to support operation of both schools. So may we know if the schools have less than 100 employees. And the required documents here, if it passes through this criteria, letter request of the proposed merging of schools, addressed to SDS. Feasibility study of the proposed merging of schools. So I believe we heard there was a feasibility study, and we need to know a copy and or the content of the feasibility study. The letter C, proposed schools implementation plan as merged, covering 5 years to include, among others, the following. Current and projected enrollment for 5 school years by grade level. Proposed budgetary requirement for its PS, MOA, and capital outlay. May we know all these things were all taken care of by the DepEd? May we know from the good gentleman from
Madam
Barangay
Presiding
Mangkilam.
Officer, I move for a minute recess, Madam Presiding Officer.
The chair declares for a minute recess.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. Since there were guidelines, Madam Presiding Officers, I have an amendment, Madam Presiding Officer, that this piece of legislation will be laid on the table for further discussion for the additional of the requirements of the said merging, Madam Presiding Officer.
Okay, so there's a motion to lay this on the table as moved by Councilor Aala. Is there any second? Seconded by Councilor Revita and Rillion and also Catayas. So this piece of legislation shall be laid on the table. Let us now proceed to the next item, the last item.
The last item, Madam President, is resolution number 499, a resolution authorizing the city mayor to enter into and sign for and in behalf of the city government the memorandum of agreement between and among the city government of Tagum, grantee and parent or guardian as provided under section 4 of City Ordinance number 1014 series of 2022, otherwise known as the Expanded City Education Scholarship Program or ESAS Pro, as amended by City Ordinance number 1050 series of 2024.
Councilor Aala, what is your pleasure?
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. Since copies were given of the said resolution number 499 series of 2026, I move to the dispense of the reading of the said resolution, Madam Presiding Officer.
Moved by Councilor Aala, seconded by Dato Eric Perez and Councilor Catayas. And there being no objection, the reading of the full text of resolution number 499 is dispensed.
I move to approve in second reading, Madam Presiding Officer.
Moved by Councilor Aala, seconded by Councilors Catayas, Uy Salazar, and Rillion. Is there any discussion?
A discussion, Madam Presiding Officer, that during the deliberation of the said resolution, Madam Presiding Officer, Honorable Edmar Kwakan has noticed that, commented that there was a correction between the said MOA and during the other committee, Madam Presiding Officer, the TCYDO provided the joint committee members the copy of the corrected MOA, Madam Presiding Officer. That's all, Madam Presiding Officer.
Thank you very much. So the attached MOA now is, this is the corrected one.
Yes, Madam Presiding
Very well.
Officer.
So proceed, Councilor Aala.
I move that all of my fellow colleagues will be co-proponent of the said resolution number 499 series of 2026.
Moved by Councilor Aala that all shall be co-proponents, seconded by Councilor Catayas. And there being no objection, that motion is hereby approved.
I move to approve in second and final reading, Madam Presiding Officer.
Moved by Councilor Aala that this be approved on second and final reading, seconded by Councilor Catayas. Those who are in favor, please raise your right hand.
In favor, Councilor Perez, Councilor Catayas, Councilor Aala, Councilor Rubinos, Councilor Elliot, Councilor Revita, Councilor Uy Salazar, Councilor Kaasi, Councilor Coquilla, Councilor Ong, Councilor Lemos, and Councilor Rillion. Madam President, all members present are in favor.
All members present being in favor, therefore, resolution number 499 is approved on second and final reading. Announcements. Okay, those who are attending the MLP capacity enhancement on February 19 to 21, please be at the Grand Regal Hotel at 9 a.m. because the program will start at 9 a.m. in the morning. So magsayot tag adto dito para makasugod jud, no, so that you can join the program. Okay, so summer announcements, Councilor Coquilla.
May we know, Madam Chair, if the Secretary to the Sangguniang is in receipt of the request for scheduling under my committee? Ka-receive daw ka? Nakatong gagmay?
Earlier, Madam President,
may nakang nasa inyo, ha? So, supposedly, Madam Chair, that the request for scheduling of the committee under my committees will be on 19 and 19, and it would be rescheduled on the 26th to give way for the scheduled BL Meki for sure that other councilors cannot attend our committee meeting and hearing. So there are three committee. One is relating the Committee on Finance for the authority of the mayor to negotiate for a loan. Second is for the project Shallow. The third is for there are 4 items. So those 4 items will be rescheduled to February 26. Thank you. And 26. Okay, ang 25 is our regular man nga meeting.
25 is a holiday.
25 is holiday. 26 madam.
Holiday. Working.
Working holiday. So 26 Thursday. And another, Madam Chair, can we have a short meeting, Madam Chair, on the conference hall of the Vice Mayor's office for some important announcement and information? Thank you.
Okay.
After the session.
Duly noted. So everyone is invited to a meeting after the session at the Vice Mayor's conference room. Okay, some more announcements? This Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, na IVMLP, na Apoy 4L, NMYL. Okay, so if there are no more announcements and if there is no objection from the floor, the chair will now adjourn the session. There being none, session is now adjourned.